Tigers have completed their attack and are now braking. The landing zone is now clear of enemy influence, and the Taipans can land and disembark the Special Forces team. During the landing, the Tigers will protect both the disembarking troops and the Taipans whilst they are vulnerable on the ground. Taipans will be moving into position from the north to your right. The MH-90 Taipan aircraft is capable of operating from land or naval vessels to deliver troops and equipment by day and by night in all but the very worst weather conditions. As they come across, you'll see the low masters in the rear, clearing the ground below and working with the pilots to secure the area and call the aircraft into land. This type of insertion would usually be conducted by night with the aircraft crew pilot using a combination of infrared vision, night vision goggles, weather radar and the aircraft's automatic flight control system. Their aim would be to get in and out as stealthily as possible and as quickly as possible to avoid compromising the position of the patrol.
The Classic Hornets delivered the first punch and bloodied the nose of the hostile forces. The Tiger attack helicopters then rolled in to further suppress them. Now we're deploying Special Operations Forces to get an accurate picture of what's happening on the ground at Avalon International Airshow.
Tigers and Taipans combined will now depart towards the south and let the Special Forces Patrol get into position to do their work. This combined formation will be close by in all stations.
The Special Operations Forces will now pass back information to the Wedge Tower, the airborne electronic warfare and command and control platform that's orbiting overhead Avalon.
And from a safe distance, maintain 2 Squadron from Newcastle. The Wedgetail is the Australian Defence Force's Eye in the Sky. And you'll see it's based on the Boeing 737. The Wedgetail is a complete battle management system with the capability to control and coordinate Australian Defence Force air, sea and land elements in real time, utilising that surfboard-shaped object sticking up above the airframe. The Wedgetail crew have gathered some vital intelligence on a hostile submarine that's in the area, and using its advanced tactical voice and data communications, the Wedgetail will pass this information onto the Royal Australian Navy, who have the perfect asset to deal with this deadly underwater threat. Ladies and gentlemen, from the right, launched from the flight deck of a Royal Australian Navy warship, here comes the Navy's 5th generation sub-hunter and anti-surface warfare helicopter, the MH-60 Romeo Seahawk. The Seahawk is equipped with a highly sophisticated combat system designed to employ and hellfire air-to-surface missiles and a Mark 54 anti-submarine torpedo. Pilot Lieutenant Jordan Taylor is now bringing the aircraft around to Crowd Centre, where he will establish the aircraft in a hover and they will lower the aircraft's dipping sonar array, thus entering the dip. And utilising this advanced dipping sonar array, the highly trained crew of 3 will attempt to locate and track the enemy submarine that is threatening our surface ships. The Seahawk Romeo can also deploy sonar buoys, which are small canisters ejected from the left-hand side of the airframe. They will enter the water and they'll be able to actively ping or passively listen for any signs of an enemy submarine. While this is going on, the tactical warfare officer in the front, Lieutenant Joel Bury, is communicating with the wedge tail, which you can see passing overhead. They've got it. He has now located the hostile submarine, and using the sonar array, which you can see hanging from the belly of the Romeo, he's even been able to classify the exact type of submarine.
The wedge tail, the eye in the sky, the Romeo, identified there's a submarine. Now we need to call in some forces to persecute that submarine.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you look to your right, you will see the Boeing P-8A Poseidon, followed by the Lockheed AP-3C Orion. These aircraft represent the Royal Australian Air Force primary maritime patrol, intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance aircraft, and are based at RAF Edinburgh in South Australia. The aircraft will overfly the enemy submarine's area and drop sonar buoys into the water to accurately search for and position the sub prior to repositioning and conduct their strike. As the aircraft overfly, you will see their bomb bay doors are open and electro-optical sensors are extended.
Conducting a submarine attack utilising its torpedoes, the Romeo aircraft has been instructed to buster out of the area so the P-8 and P-3 can conduct the submarine strike.
The second aircraft from the formation was the AP-3C Orion, which has served the Royal Australian Air Force since 1978. The Orion can be recognised by its 4 turboprop engines and extended tail, which has a submarine hunting magnetic anomaly detector. The lead aircraft may look like a 737 airliner, however it's a highly modified airframe with advanced sensors and actuators. The Poseidon was a 5th generation maritime patrol aircraft, bringing new capabilities to the Royal Australian Air Force, enhancing the vision of Plan Jericho. The Poseidon is fitted with advanced surface search radar, electro-optical TV and infrared camera, electronic warfare pod and 10 hardpoints to carry weapons. Weapons that can be carried in the anti-shipping and submarine role are the Mark 54 torpedo and AGM-84 harpoon. Advanced computing power allows the crew of the Poseidon to process more than 4 times as much information compared to the Orion and then send this off-board through Link 16 data link and satellite communications. Here they come to drop their torpedoes.
We located the enemy submarine over Corio Bay. We then used our maritime patrol assets, the Orion and the Poseidon, to kill that submarine. Let's not forget about those 2 Hornets pursued by that Hawk 127.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you look to your left to the south, you will see Hunter with the Hawk 127 in close pursuit. What you're about to see is a mock dogfight to show the impressive air-to-air capabilities of a pair of Hornets versus Red Air. As they approach the crowd, Hunter 2 will conduct a offensive brake turn towards the crowd, pulling 7.5 G whilst dropping missile decoying flares to evade the Red Air missile. Hunter 1 will pull into the vertical to position above the fight before targeting Red Air using his helmet-mounted sight and a heat-seeking Azrael missile before rolling in, switching to guns. This demonstration will show you how small a dogfight can be and the superiority of vital mutual support. Here come the Hornets, ladies and gentlemen. air-to-air refueling every 60 to 90 minutes whilst operating in a theatre area. Air-to-air refueling aircraft will be positioned close to the fight so aircraft can conduct a short transit before hooking up with the tanker. Refueling takes approximately 10 minutes per aircraft on a single hose.
We've killed the submarine. We've neutralised the threat. The Hawk 127 acting as the enemy has departed the fight with the tail between his legs. We own the air. We own the surface. We've now got to try and mop up the enemy around Avalon.
What you can expect to see now will be our heavy airlift capability, the C-17, coming in for their tactical approach in a few minutes' time with reinforcements to ensure we maintain security of the airfield. The C-17 is one of 8 that we have in the Royal Australian Air Force. It's a heavy airlift capability as part of our Air Mobility Command, and it's complemented.
Here they come from the right.
Alright, the Army's done a great job of neutralising that threat. It's now safe for the C-17 to land. You'll have to look up high and right. It's going to be coming in for a steep tactical approach. The flying crew will be looking through their head-up display. They'll be using the velocity vector and the flight path vector to determine their aim point on the runway, and they're going to be stopping really quickly. So as soon as that touches down, watch the engines come back into reverse. You'll see the sleeve open up. You'll see some white on the side, and they're going to be backing that jet back up so that they can unload the troops and cargo.
Special Operation Forces on the ground calling for reinforcement. The Globemaster, the C-17, providing those reinforcements in just a few moments' time. Here we go.
Call sign Stallion about to land. Getting their load on board, ready to offload. For air travel, the load that we'll have on board the C-17 is actually chained down to the cargo compartment floor. They'll be undoing those chains, they'll be getting them out the way, and the loadmasters will be preparing for the offload. Just exiting the aircraft now are the 2 protected mobility vehicles, the Army. Now that they're clear, the aircrew will be closing up the jet and preparing for an immediate tactical takeoff once we have confirmation that the
400 kilograms of fuel per minute to each Hornet. The
pilots of Hunter will currently be sitting in the hose, transferring fuel, flying formation, cues off the wingtip of the KC-30. Whilst inside the KC-30, the two pilots will be
takes off, cleans up, because it will then commence a zoom to get out. You can see the gear come up, the flaps retracting, the slats are up, the airfield's hot again, and the C-17 is out of here.
Looks like that those hostile forces have popped their heads up again. C-17 makes a hasty exit to the left. We better call back in the army assets, the Tiger helicopter, to try and deal with those enemy forces.
KC-30A that was refueling our Hornets Hunter is a highly modified A330 airliner. It has two wing drogue refueling pods for fighters and a single boom on the centerline for refueling the C-17, P-8, E-7 and the F-35 fighter. The KC-30 has advanced Link 16 data link and communications suite. Operated by number 33 Squadron at RAF Amberley in Queensland, there are currently 5 KC-30A tankers, with 2 more to be delivered by 2019. The KC-30 has a passenger layout inside and can carry 2 Malaysian Air Force, Butterworth, Malaysia.
Hunter, this is Bill and I have troops in contact and require your assistance.
Hunter, roger. Established in the overhead. Go ahead, target description.
In the landing zone, being engaged by enemy forces 200 metres to our west.
Roger, enemy 200 metres west of the landing zone.
Now make your attack from the south, push when able.
Hunter, visual friendlies, tally target. In hot from the south.
Dylan, you are clean hot. Crusader, this is India 3-1. Request immediate evacuation of a priority 1 casualty at the landing zone.
India 3-1, this is Crusader, roger. Inbound, 30 seconds for casualty pickup. Confirm landing zone status.
India 3-1, landing zone is ice, no enemy present.
Crusader, copy. Visual the landing zone.
The golden hour is the time within which a soldier with a traumatic injury, if attended by medical personnel, has a much higher likelihood of survival. Operations to both improve the survival prospects of wounded soldiers and to ensure the remaining soldiers are not impeded from completing their missions while having to protect and care for a casualty. The Taipan helicopter is ideal for casualty evacuation as it is fast, can operate in poor weather conditions and on the darkest of nights. It makes a lot of noise, and loading the casualty is a priority. Tigers will remain on station and are there to ensure that the ground troops and the Taipans are protected during this vulnerable time.
Evacuated. The Tigers providing that support so the casevac occurs without a hitch.